Hey, it's Nick. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're breaking down the power of compounding and why it's behind nearly every long-term success in investing, business, and wealth building. Imagine a snowball at the top of a hill. At first, it barely moves. It's small, it looks harmless. But as it rolls downhill, it picks up more snow, more speed, and more mass. Eventually, that snowball becomes an avalanche. That is compounding. Compounding is the quiet force behind almost every great fortune. It's not flashy. It doesn't feel exciting at the beginning. But over time, it becomes unstoppable. Albert Einstein is often credited with calling compounding the most powerful force in the universe. Whether he actually said it or not, the idea behind it is absolutely true. Today, I want to show you why compounding matters, how it works, why most people underestimate it, and how you can use it whether you're investing money, building a business, or growing skills. Compounding is simply earning returns on your returns. You don't just make money. You make money on the money your money already made. Think of it like interest earning interest, or growth stacking on top of growth. Here's the first key idea, and this is where most people miss it. Compounding doesn't feel powerful early on. If you invest $10,000 at 8%, after 1 year you earn $800. That doesn't change your life. After 5 years, that $10,000 becomes around $14,700. Still not impressive. But after 30 years, that same $10,000 grows to over $100,000. Nothing magical happened in year 30. The same 8% was working the entire time. The difference is time. This is why Warren Buffett often says that his greatest advantage wasn't intelligence, but time. Over 90% of his net worth was built after age 50. That surprises people. They assume wealth is built quickly, when in reality it's built slowly and then shows up all at once. Compounding is like watching grass grow. You don't notice it day to day. But zoom out, and the difference is massive. Let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine you're filling a bathtub with the drain partially open. At first, the water level barely rises. But eventually, the inflow overwhelms the outflow, and the tub fills rapidly. Compounding works the same way. Early returns feel weak because the base is small. Later returns explode because the base is massive. Here are 3 facts that make compounding so powerful. First, time matters more than amount. Someone who invests $5,000 per year starting at age 25 and stops at 35 can end up with more money than someone who invests $5,000 per year from age 35 to 65. That's not because they invested more. It's because their money had more time to compound. Second, consistency beats intensity. You don't need to hit home runs. You need to show up repeatedly. Charlie Munger said that the big money is not in the buying or the selling, but in the waiting. Third, small differences in return create massive differences over time. The difference between 6% and 9% doesn't sound huge. But over 40 years, it can mean hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. This is why behavior matters. Now let's talk about investing, because that's where compounding is most obvious. Historically, the US stock market has returned around 7% to 10% annually over long periods. At 8%, money roughly doubles every 9 years. At 10%, it doubles about every 7 years. That means $100,000 at 10% can become around $200,000, then $400,000, then $800,000, without you adding another dollar. That's compounding doing the heavy lifting. Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, built his entire philosophy around this idea. He believed that low-cost, long-term investing allows compounding to work without friction. Now let's move beyond money for a moment. Compounding applies to skills. If you improve a skill by just 1% per day, the results after a year are extraordinary. Learning, reading, networking, fitness, and business all compound the same way. James Clear talks about this in terms of habits. Small habits don't seem to matter today, but they compound into massive results over time. Think about two people. One reads 10 pages a day. The other doesn't. After 1 week, no difference. After 1 month, still nothing obvious. After 10 years, the gap is enormous. That's compounding in knowledge. Business works the same way. Amazon didn't dominate overnight. Jeff Bezos reinvested profits for years while competitors focused on short-term earnings. Those reinvestments compounded into logistics, technology, and scale that competitors couldn't catch up to. Compounding rewards patience and punishes impatience. Here's an anecdote that makes this real. Two friends start investing at the same time. One panics during market drops and sells. The other stays invested. Over 30 years, the disciplined investor can end up with significantly more money, even if both invested the same amount. J.P. Morgan data shows that the average investor underperforms the market by several percentage points due to emotional decisions. That's not a math problem. That's a behavior problem. Compounding only works if you stay invested. Now let me pause here and ask you a question, and I want you to answer it in the comments. What do you think is harder for most people, starting early or staying consistent over time? Think about that and share your answer. Let's keep going. One of the biggest enemies of compounding is interruption. Pulling money out early. Stopping contributions. Chasing hype. Compounding hates disruption. It wants stability. That's why long-term investing beats frequent trading for most people. The more decisions you make, the more chances you have to mess it up. Another analogy. Compounding is like baking bread. If you keep opening the oven to check on it, the bread never rises properly. You have to let it work. This brings us to another set of 3 ideas that separate people who benefit from compounding and those who don't. First, they automate. Automatic investing removes emotion and ensures consistency. Second, they think in decades, not months. Market drops don't scare them because they understand the long game. Third, they focus on process, not outcomes. They don't obsess over short-term performance. They obsess over long-term discipline. Ray Dalio talks about this in terms of principles. If you get the principles right, the outcomes take care of themselves. Now let's talk about why compounding feels unfair. People who start early seem lucky. But it's not luck, it's math. Someone who starts at 20 has a massive advantage over someone who starts at 40, even if the second person earns more. Time is the only variable you can't buy more of. That's why delaying is so expensive. Waiting 5 years to start investing can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Not because you missed those 5 years of contributions, but because you missed decades of compounding on those early dollars. This is also why setbacks don't matter as much as people think. If you stay in the game long enough, compounding can overcome mistakes. Missed opportunities hurt. Quitting hurts more. Here's the emotional side of this. Compounding rewards patience, humility, and consistency. Those are not traits our culture celebrates. We celebrate speed, shortcuts, and overnight success. But the people who actually build lasting wealth play a different game. They accept boredom. They embrace slow progress. They trust the math. The power of compounding is not just about becoming rich. It's about reducing stress. When compounding works, money starts working harder than you do. That creates options. Options to walk away from bad jobs. Options to take risks. Options to retire on your terms. And that's the real payoff. Not the number in the account, but the freedom it buys. Let me leave you with this. Compounding doesn't care how smart you are. It cares how long you stay consistent. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need secret strategies. You need time, discipline, and patience. If you start today and stick with it, the future version of you will thank you. If this helped you understand compounding on a deeper level, subscribe for more practical explanations about money, investing, and building long-term wealth. I'm on the same journey, learning and applying these ideas in real time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.